I'm here and I'm very excited to say we're about to have a conversation with Jonathan Brintley. Jonathan Brintley is the inspiration for lesson number 7, Chances Make Champions. And talk about inspiration. I'm very excited to bring him to you exactly the way he is. So I don't have to tell you how inspirational he is. You'll be able to see for yourself. So let's get started. Hey, Jonathan.
How you doing?
It's a pleasure to have an opportunity to talk to you because you have inspired me in one of the lessons in our final book in the series, Lessons for Living. It's always remember and never forget. And your lesson number 7, which is Chances Make Champions. So I am so excited to have the opportunity to talk to you because you inspired me. So I want to talk to you a little bit more, and I want to understand what inspires you. Who inspires you? Because you are already excited and on fire and have lots of passion, but who inspires you?
Absolutely. First thing first, I'll probably break it down into 2 different phases because I want to hit on as far as who inspires me, and also want to dig a little bit into as far as what inspires me.
Okay.
So when it comes to who inspires me, first person that comes to my mind as far as on who actually inspires me personally, I would definitely say will have to be my younger brother, Brintley. Brintley, to anyone that knows me, plays a significant part as far as in the company that we building as far as EFP tax and accounting. He plays a major role. He's an executor at a high level. So a lot of that stuff that our business relationship may have actually started off with me pouring into him and depositing information as far as to be able to help him create a certain type of lifestyle or a certain type of position as far as where he can operate and help and be a blessing to me in the company. But what inspires me the most about him is how he's able to take the opportunity that was presented to him, capitalize on it, and use this opportunity to open so many other doors. He's fearless. The fact that he's willing to go after whatever he put his mind to, and that's whether as far as from business credit, that's as far as anything as far as from trucking, to getting into the trucking industry, to even as far as going after as far as the social media, like the way that he operate, the way that he's willing to aggressively go after things that he may have no experience, no type of credentials in, but he's willing to go figure things out. And right now, the things that he's doing in real estate, it just inspired me so much on a higher level to be a better version of me. Because I mean, I've been in my industry, I kind of found something that worked for me, and it's been working for me good, created a comfortable lifestyle. Don't get me wrong, but I love the way that he's just willing to go after things that he doesn't let his lack of knowledge or something that he may not know keep him back as far as from where he's ultimately trying to go. So when I think of who inspires me, that's definitely going to be one of my biggest inspirations. My younger brother, Brintley, man, owner of Brintley Property Management, making some big moves. That'll be as far as who inspires me. But when you say as far as what specifically inspires me, I think with that one is straight to the point. What inspires me the most is that next level that I'm going after, the potential that I know that I'm capable of obtaining, and the opportunities that I know that not are only presented to me, but the ones that I'm able to take advantage of and maximize on the highest level. So just that next level alone, when it comes down to as far as what actually inspires me, the next level of Jonathan Brintley. I know that I haven't even got started on the level and the lifestyle that we're going to be living in the future. So just that next level is what inspires me the most. That's definitely where I'm going after.
You see this passion? And we talk about this passion that makes you want to roar. Exactly. And now you're seeing it on full display. And I appreciate the fact when we were talking a little earlier, you mentioned that you don't wait for opportunity. You don't look for what's easy. You look at what's possible. So I think that's excellent.
Absolutely.
So let's talk about Chances Make Champions. That's the title of the lesson. So what I want to know is, what does that really mean to you? We talk a lot about passion, and when passion meets chance and opportunity, then it's a beautiful thing. And that's a blessing in living, making sure you're ready for opportunity, But what is chances make champions to you? What does that mean?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So when it comes down to what exactly is the definition of chances make champions, to me personally, to others, it may mean other things. But to me personally, just living a lifestyle with knowing that we're not waiting on someone to give us the lifestyle that we want. Whatever it is that we want, we're going to go create it. We're going to get whatever we can set our mind to. And yes, we know that it's going to come along with some trials and tribulations. We know it's going to come along with some ups and downs in this journey, but that doesn't change the goal. So when I say chance to make champions, it's just knowing that, yes, what you want is obtainable, but it's not going to come without us taking some risk. So it's going to be some chance that you're going to take. You're going to have to put some risk out there. You're going to invest some money that might not always work out, but I know that no risk, no reward. So if that's what you're saying that you want, that's what you're saying you want to go after, put together a plan, put together a team, get some individuals around you that's thinking the same thing, get the right pieces, find out how much it's going to take to fund it, find out how long it's going to take for it to actually turn into a reality, or it's going to go from just a dream or a thought or on a vision board so you actually can be doing that thing that you're talking about. So when I say chance to make champions, it's just as far as knowing that at worst, there is no failure. There is no losing. Like, we're not going to lose. Because only thing we're going to get from this opportunity of going after what we said we're going after, whether it's going to be the knowledge, the experience, what not to do, and if things go the way it's planned, we're going to be able to receive the trophy, which is ultimately going to make us the champion.
I love that. I absolutely love that. And when we wrote Blessings for Living, we really focused on how can we get this message into youth? How do we get this? And so we took the road of passion. We talked about the things you love and things that inspire you. That's going to give you the gumption. And I'm sure you could see, what inspired you was that whole thing about how you want to live. But also, when we talked earlier, you talked about legacy.
Right.
You talked about generations to come and how you can set things up, right? Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
So on a day-to-day basis, what is making you so fired up? What is like your daily routine?
Yeah, when it comes down to routine, I think that routine is very critical. One of the main things when it comes down to my routine that I'm consistent on, that's usually like not even a negotiable, what we refer to as non-negotiable, is definitely going to be as far as planning my day the night before. I'm waking up with a roadmap. And I'm not talking about, this is not a list of goals that I hope to do this, hope to do this, hope to do this. This may be 5 to 7 things that this is what I have to do today. Like, I gotta get this done. And then that list of 5 to 7 things is gonna be as far as from the most important to the least important. So I know that throughout this day, this is what I have to get done. And I'm gonna set that up as far as the night before. So the night before, I may create the list on what I have to get done. But once I wake up, usually my normal routine may be up by 6:30 at the latest. Once I get up, now I'm gonna go more in depth about what I have to do that day. Because the night before, I may know what I need to get done, but I may not have the specifics broken down to, okay, what are we going to do first? What are we going to do next? What are we going to do? So that morning, I'm going to come up, once I get up in the morning, get my stuff together, get into my office, I'll actually come up with, okay, so by 9 o'clock, I need to be here. By 10 o'clock, I need to be here. By 12 o'clock, I need to get on this call and schedule everything out. So I'm putting together a more detailed step-by-step plan as opposed to the night before. It's more of a general that throughout this day, we need to make sure we complete this. And I know sometimes that days do get crazy and you may not get everything done, but whatever doesn't get done on that day in particular automatically rolls over to the next day. It's not like, okay, I have to come up with a new thing or we're not going to do it, because if it made the list, it's important. So if it's important enough to make a list that we need to put together a plan to be able to find out a way to be able to accomplish it, we have to come up with the solution. So like I say, stay focused. It helps me out a lot because throughout the day when you're dealing with work, life, kids, family, emergencies, things come up. It's so easy, even social media, to get caught up in. Now you've been an hour on the phone and you got all off track. But when you have that list laid out, you know what to be able to focus on. You know how to be able to refocus your energy. Okay, look, I got 4 more things I haven't even started yet.
Right.
Like, I gotta get to this. Like this, I have to get to this because it's already 5 o'clock and I got a few more hours in this day.
Right.
You know, so I think my daily routine is really, like I say, I try not to keep it too complicated. I usually like to make sure I give myself a list, give myself a plan for the day, and do my best to stick to that plan. And that plan can change, but whatever does change in that plan throughout the day, it automatically rolls over to the next day.
Well, I'm glad I got in on your plan for today.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And
this is the highlight of the day right here. This the highlight. I've been waiting on this plan right here. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Absolutely.
Well, I just want to say he just shared a blessing. You know, some people talk about best practices, things that work for them. We call them blessings because when you see and you speak to someone who has already done it and it's been successful, they're sharing their life lesson. That is a blessing. So therein lies blessing. So I appreciate the fact that you have really outlined that chances make champions as one of your models and sharing with us how you actually get to that. So there had to be a time in your life where something clicked and turned you on. I mean, I've kind of known you a lot of your life.
A lot of my life, right? Just almost all of it, right?
So I just really want to know, was there a trigger that brought this desire to change your life and to be, to really go after what you want? Was there a trigger for you, Jonathan?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I think almost in any person's story, we all have triggers. We all have triggers that affect us in a way, whether mentally, financially, emotionally, or even physically sometimes. But I do think that we all have those triggers. All of us may not spend as much time on figuring them out a little bit more than others. So when I say triggers, I can think of a few different ones right off the bat. But I can think as far as one of the most crucial ones. So in 2019, that was probably one of the worst years of my life. That was the first year I ever understood why people commit suicide. I've seen it, watched the stories, heard about stuff, but I never really understood it. 2019, I'm not gonna say I was at a point where I was suicidal, where I actually got to that point, but for the first time, I actually thought about just like, I don't wanna be here no more. And the things that led up to that played a major part simply because at that point in my life, I was getting to the point where you would say where the normal people may say as far as some type of success. So at that point, I mean, I'm already at the point where the 6-figure income, I'm already at the point where I done moved out of the neighborhoods and I got a nice little put together spot. But I went from elevating to that position to getting myself working all of my life to get to that point to start making different decisions. And I started to see those things start to fall apart. So as that process goes, it's falling apart, I'm seeing me going through eviction letters starting to come on the door. I'm experiencing the repossession of the cars. I'm experiencing all 3 of my accounts are in overdrawn status. And I think the point that I picked my daughter up from school, I remember her telling me that she was hungry. And I knew all of my cards was overdrawn. That did something to me that prison was like a walk in the park. It made me like mentally go somewhere that I'm going to figure this out and I'm going to prioritize the things that's going to get me to a level where she never had to experience that. So that trigger alone, 2019, the fact of being in a position where I couldn't do the things as a man for their child that you're supposed to be able to do. Like I remember walking from my house through the hallway, going into the parking garage and looking for the car with my daughter. And she asked me where I park at. I'm like, I know I park here. They came and got the car because it's 3 months behind. And having to walk back to my house felt like the longest walk ever. That trigger alone, it just put me into the mindset where, man, there's no excuses. It's no excuses. There isn't a reason, a person, or a thing that can happen in my life that will allow me not to be able to get what I know that I'm entitled to, not to be able to get what I know that my family's entitled to, not to be able to create the type of lifestyle that so many people are going to be able to benefit from by the sacrifices that I make. So when I think of chances making champions, it's about digging deep. It's about being the person that I know that I'm called to be, knowing that that life, these experiences that I've been through, man, this wasn't by accident. I didn't happen to luckily go through this situation and just all the pressure fell on me. No, God chose me. God allowed me to go through what I went through because he knew the bigger picture and knowing that he going to be able to use me to be able to open doors. So 2019, 100% going through that situation with my family.
So let's talk a little bit about the fact that, you know, the blessing, the whole concept of the blessing is all about sharing life lessons. And we have focused on sharing them in a way a child would understand. So when I was inspired to have you, when I wrote Chances Make Champions, I figured that's one of your favorite blessings in the series. So can you tell me more about that, why you feel that way?
Absolutely. Yeah, 100%. Chances Make Champions is definitely going to be one of my favorite blessings, of course. Simply because it's just that's my real life. That's not like a cool phrase. That's my real life. Like growing up, like I was one of the ones in high school that was, like, in reality voted most unsuccessful. People felt like even in high school they already knew what my future holds, and we always expect, you know, either death or in jail because of the lifestyle that I lived at the time, and it wasn't like a surprise. So when I look back from high school on what the expectations were to now that just turning 30 years old and seeing what the reality is now, like the real life reality is compared to what the expectations were, I'll 100% Chances Make Champions. I know that this reality was created by taking risks. This reality was created by going against the grain. This was created by not going the traditional route of waiting for opportunities or waiting for someone to open doors or working hard enough to hopefully get pulled up. Like, I didn't go that route. I went to pay and trailblaze my own lane, ultimately knowing that once I open this lane up, I can be able to open the door for other people down the line. So 100% when it comes out to the blessings, I definitely would say that that will be the number one. But also it is another one as well that definitely resonated with me as well, as far as from the first series or the first book, as far as the one on choices. And when it says choices, that one in particular, I know I learned a long time ago from my bishop, and he preached a message about choices and voices. And just to kind of like wrap it up, it's basically expounding on the voices that we listen to plays a major part in the choices that we make. Me just knowing that if the voices I'm listening to play a part in the choices that I'm making, the choices that I'm making on a consistent day-to-day basis will play a major part on the person that I'm actually going to become. I'm real big on decision making. I'm real big on the choices that I'm making, whether it's the people I'm being around, whether it's the company I choose to have as far as in my working relationships, whether as far as the environments I choose to surround myself on. Choices is a big thing because I've seen so many people that come from my background, that come from my upbringing, that made bad choices. And I've seen the result of a consistent level of bad choices and what that lead to. So I definitely would say when it come down to one of the ones that resonate with me the most would be Chances Make Champions and, of course, the choices.
Well, thank you so much. And I really appreciate you taking the time to share your life, because that is really what's going to make a difference. Our kids should not wait until they're old enough to make these mistakes and all that. They need to learn lessons early, and that's what the Blessings for Living series is all about. How do we get the most important lessons in living into our youth at a younger age? And that's really what it's all about. So you also exemplify lesson number 10 in the final series of the book, Always Remember and Never Forget to Be a Blessing.
Exactly.
To turn around and share what you have learned so that others can benefit. And I'd just like to share that I am 27 years older than Jonathan, and I've been around a long time, and I've accomplished some things, but to be inspired by our youth is one of the best things possible, because they bring a different perspective, a different level of energy. And I have been inspired by you probably when you were going through some of the stuff that you were going through, but your attitude was totally different, and it was always progressive. It was always inspirational. And so I am so excited to be able to have this time with you. Time is one of the most important things you can give someone, and the fact that you took time to talk to me today, it makes me very happy.
I'm honored. Glad to be here with you. Glad to get a chance to share with you. Glad to get a chance to kind of like highlight on some of the blessings for living that's been a blessing to my life.